on. You guys got to drive the vehicles. I made you look at this yellow backdrop, and it's all the stuff we're talking about. It's not new. It's all stuff that's offered in your other models on the Ford lineup. But I think what I want you to take away from this little section is the fact that all of this stuff is going in a truck. I mean, all this connectivity, this technology wasn't even thought about, let's just say 10 years ago, putting it in a truck. So here we are, 2018, the Ranger's finally coming back here, and we're just loading it up with tech. So it's pretty amazing, all right? So I want you to take that away. You do have your participant guides. If you want to take notes, you can, but don't worry, just relax in there and kind of look around. We had that rugged exterior, right? You know about the frame. You were in that MMF, the opening section. We made it strong, Taylor rolled blank, high strength steel. It could tow a ton. Payload's great, but we wanted the interior to be as rugged as well. But we want to set ourselves apart from Tacoma and Colorado, so we gave it a bit of a refined feel. So it's not luxury, but it's definitely not utilitarian, man. It's not just rugged. So you see the stitching on the dashboard, stitching on the seats. All those characteristics are from non-truck vehicles, be it SUVs, crossovers, or cars. So it's a much more refined feel. Not just rugged, but refined. Everything kind of makes sense, how we put everything together. Tacoma, take a look at it. Do you like this interior? Does it look kind of bland to you? Especially what you're looking at in the cabin? Yep, it does. It's not bad. I'm just saying nothing really stands out, nothing to write home about. I didn't mention it earlier, but the vehicles you're in are Lariats, all 501As. So that's the most loaded vehicles that you can get. So right off the bat, let's just tell you what you can't get. You can't get a sunroof, can't get a CD player, and you can't get ventilated seats. Those are the three things right off the bat. We just couldn't do it. It's a global vehicle. It's not the same exact global vehicle, but when we brought it here, we didn't fully redesign it. We took that platform and built a strong truck, the mid-size segment. So take a look at the Colorado. What do you guys think about this? Thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you think? Kind of boring? Yep. I like that. A dramatic thumbs down. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so if it looked kind of dated to you, it is. It actually is. It hasn't been touched since 2014, so it's a bit boring. I think it truly needs a refresh. We'll see what happens in the next couple of years. In regards to the instrument cluster, again, you guys are in Lariats, top of the line. If you look at the cluster, it's just like the F-150. You have two 4.2-inch productivity screens that flank the speedometer in the center. There's a little lip that juts out from the dashboard, and that's really to shade it from sunlight, so you're not going to get glare issues at all. Everything's going to be clear, concise. You'll see all the colors. In a Lariat, you'll also get intelligent access with push-button start. That's a feature only available on Lariat. If you get XL and XLT, the number of screens go down and the size of screen goes down in regards to the productivity screen. In XLT, you'd only get one 4.2-inch display. And then on XL, you'll get a 2.3-inch display. Available Sync 3 as well for XLT. FX4 off-road package, you'll get the screens. Pretty amazing screen, a ton of information here. Roll angle, pitch angle, steering, and drive line. When the differential locks out, it'll actually show up on the screen, which is important. And of course, I think the most important bit of information is the steering angle when you're off-roading. Now, I don't know how many of you have done this type of driving off-road, but it's fun, of course. You get a great area to do it. But a lot of people will say, I don't need to know the steering angle. I mean, I'm holding on to the steering wheel. The wheels are pointing where I'm pointing the steering wheel. Well, those people have never been off-road, right? Because you guys know, over boulders and logs, at some point, those wheels do not point the same direction as the steering wheel. It's based on how you're bouncing around. So it's very important to understand where the wheels are pointing, and the off-road screen gives it to you with that steering angle. Ranger, we do have it. Tacoma has a similar system, but it does not show steering angle. And this is a common thread throughout this presentation. The Colorado just doesn't offer these types of screens. It actually doesn't offer much, and you'll see as we go on. Center stack has Sync 3 with 8-inch touchscreen for Lariat. If you're in XL and XLT, you only have Sync with the 4.2-inch display. Any Ranger model will have FordPass Connect and Wi-Fi hotspot as standard feature. So that's really, really a fantastic feature to talk about, specifically for the adventure-ready people that we are targeting with this vehicle. They're not F-150 buyers. They are adventurous people. So I mention it because a lot of people will go mountain climbing, they'll go kayaking or whatnot, and they'll have the GoPro cameras. They want to record all of their adventures. They're going to want to post to social media. Well, you can't do it when you're in the middle of nowhere unless you have a Wi-Fi hotspot. All of these trucks will have a hotspot attached to it as standard feature, so they'll be able to do that pretty quickly. This will resonate with those customers, so talk about it. Accolades for Sync 3, can't talk too highly of the system. It's an amazing system. I feel it's the best infotainment system in the industry right now. And you can see by what Consumer Reports has written about it, US News, all positive news. Be confident in it, much better than my Ford Touch. Audio systems, of course, you want a good sound system in there. It comes standard, Ranger comes standard with 6 speakers, AM, FM stereo. If you guys are in Lariat, 501As, so you have Bang & Olufsen. The audio system, sound system from them. It's 10 speakers, 675 watts of power, but it's much less about the power and blowing the doors off the truck and much more about the clarity and detail of the music. Now, this company spends a ton of time and money in research and development, and all they're about is about making the music sound the best it can be, whichever environment you're in. So they've actually spent more than 1,200 hours developing the sound system to coordinate with the interior of that Ranger. So that being said, this slide here that says that satellite Sirius XM is standard on Lariat, please don't demonstrate the B&O system with the satellite radio. It's the worst source for listening to music if you didn't know it, and it's a fact, right? Satellite radio is all about content. They want to get as much out as possible so you have a bigger variety to listen to. It's not about quality, so please don't demonstrate this high-end stereo system with that. We have some flash drives from B&O. They're on the table in the lunchroom here before you leave campus once you grab one. It's all good recordings, all high bit rate music, so it's a good source to demonstrate the stereo system. So take one home, take it to your dealerships and do the demo with that. Center stack, you got dual zone electronic automatic temperature control. It's been around for a while, but I like to call it a relationship helper or saver, right? My wife, been married 10 years. She's always cold, I'm always hot. This is perfect. It helps with both worlds, right? There's no argument. She can get her heater on, I get my air conditioning. So good thing to offer in a Ranger. Storage features, again, those adventure-ready people will bring a ton of gear or kit into the truck. They want to store all this stuff and have places to put everything. Well, the engineers did a great job of coordinating and efficiently designing the interior to accommodate all of this gear. So take a look around, the storage tray on top, the lockable glove box, the media bin with the phone slot, which I love. Right, I constantly am searching for my phone because it slipped off the seat. In between the seats, it has a place for it, so it's going to be locked in, safe. Cup holders, and of course the armrest storage is nice and big for this size vehicle. I do want to point out the cutout in the armrest pad. I don't know if you noticed to the right of it, a little bit of a cutout, and that's to accommodate big water bottles that are going to be placed in the cup holders. I mean, how many times have you done it or seen people try to angle a liter bottle in a cup holder, but it doesn't fit because the armrest is there, right? So the engineers have thought about it and cut that little piece out of the armrest so that it actually can accommodate those big towering water bottles. Power points, you're going to want to charge up that gear that you bring in. If it's your video cameras, your phones, your iPads, your computers, you've got a ton of power points. You got two 12 volts just underneath the climate control, and then in the media bin you have two smart USB charging ports. If you want a 110, you have one on the back of the center console in the second row. You also have a couple USB ports back there as well. Now, of course, in a Ranger, if your customer wants a 110 in the bed of the truck, you can offer that to them with the utility bed package with the drop-in liner that comes with the wiring and, of course, the 110 volt. And I mention it because, of course, Tacoma in this area of the country is the biggest seller, right? Tacoma, the only way you can get a 110 is in the bed of their truck. So if they're used to that, they're coming to Ranger, you'll be able to offer it as well. FYI, if you didn't know it, 50% of all Tacoma owners are actual Ranger buyers. They wanted Ranger, but it wasn't here in the United States, so they bought Tacoma. So you will get cross-shopped. You will actually have a good chance of of conquesting these people because they wanted Ranger from the beginning. So again, if they're used to the 110 in the bed of their Tacoma, they can get one in a Ranger. You see the Colorado, just no such availability in regards to power. All right. Going forward, you have off-road controls. Put your arm on the armrest and then place your hand down naturally, and it comes